Welcome to Dave C, straight from the pit. I thought for today's show, we'd talk about 1982 Clutch and 1982 Breaker. Both released in 1982 as part of the original 13 G.I. Joes. Clutch and Breaker have the same head sculpt. And that was one reason why I picked to do these today. I was down here and I looked over in my 82 Joe case, admiring the 82 guys. And I was like, yeah, maybe I'll do a video on those two. So here's the little pamphlet catalog that came with G.I. Joe vehicles in 1982. And you can see here that Breaker is right there. And he's number 7. So it's Communications Officer, codename Breaker. And then Clutch, of course, came with the Vamp. And he's number 15 there. Which is over here. It says 15, multi-purpose attack vehicle, Vamp. Based on the Army's most advanced and sophisticated designs. Free-rolling wheels, twin machine gun swivels and elevates. Pull the trigger and watch the guns fire and recoil. Does not shoot. Includes G.I. Joe figure Clutch. So yeah, the guns that they're talking about are here. And I remember that as a kid. You just push this lever forward and back, and the barrels will interchange as they fire. And there is Clutch. He's got a handgun on his chest and a cool military top with kind of modern 82 looking. Just like the Vamp, it was a prototype military vehicle from 1982. Actually about the late 70s, by Lamborghini manufactured it. And so it's not really a Jeep, it's a Lamborghini design. It's quite a futuristic design, and I remember getting it as a kid and really enjoying playing with it and bringing it to school at recess. And then there's Breaker, the communications officer. And you can see he has a grenade and a knife on his chest. Both of these are straight arm because they're 1982. The swivel arm came out in 83. They were both discontinued by 1984. And Breaker, of course, is on the box art for the Ram motorcycle, the 82 bike. And there's the art there. And I think I've stated this before, interestingly enough, on the box art, he doesn't have a beard, so I guess he chose to shave that day. And the difference in the head sculpt between these two is just paint. Breaker has a brown beard, and Clutch has a black one. Eyebrows black as well, and his eyebrows are brown. And all Breaker came with, 82, was a communications backpack and a headset. And Clutch just came with a helmet. There's the box art for the Vamp. And Clutch there. There's Bubble. And the card art for 82 Breaker. His stuff in the top bubbled up there. Just a backpack and a headset. That's one of the reasons why back then I didn't particularly want to get him. Just because he wasn't quite as exciting to me as some of the other Joes. Because he didn't have a gun. And I was kind of hung up on guns back then. For whatever reason. I guess I sort of am now too. But yeah, so he wasn't really that appealing to me. But of course, I liked all the G.I. Joes back then. So you could interchange any of the weapons anyway. And he was a great 1982 character and figure. Both these guys were in the 1983 Mass Device 5-parter, as shown here. And in the Marvel books, we're in G.I. Joe #1. And Breaker appears on the cover of #2. There he is right there with the gum. It's blowing a bubble. And he was known for that in the Marvel comic. And this is the page where they're first introduced. You can see there's Clutch there on the screen. And Breaker right there. And the Vamp first appears on this page. It's got Clutch driving General Hawk in it. And Clutch appeared on the cover of #20. And it's a book that features him in it. You can see there it says Clutch goes home the hard way. And yeah, he has his own adventure in it where he discovers this Cobra base and he fights Cobras in it. And it's a pretty good book. Here are their file cards. And you can see that this one here, Breakers, it was taken from the card back and cut out. The kid cut this out back in 1982. And this one here, of course, came from the back of the Vamp box. And you can tell because it's just cardboard on the back. So for vehicles, you would see that. Clutch is a favorite of mine to bring out when I'm working on the cars in the garage. He always likes to help me, so I just put him on the tool bench, or sometimes even up on the engine block, and he gives me a hand. So yeah, he's a really cool guy. And I'll just read his file card off here. It says Vamp Driver, codename Clutch. File name, Lance J. Steinberg. Primary military specialty, transportation. Secondary military specialty, infantry. Birthplace, Asbury Park, New Jersey. Grade E4. Clutch was a mechanic at Manny's Mean Machines, heavily involved in street machines prior to enlistment. Graduated, Advanced Infantry Training, Covert Ops School, Executive Bodyguard School, Ranger School, Qualified Expert M14, M16, M1911A1, M3A1, M79, M60. He greases his hair with motor oil, rarely shaves, and chews on the same toothpick for months. Clutch still calls women chicks. I love that 80s humor. It's so great and keeps people genuine, in my opinion. So yeah, I'll read Communications Officer Breaker now. And his file name is Alvin R. Kibbe. Primary military specialty, infantry. Birthplace, Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Grade E4. Breaker is familiar with all NATO and Warsaw Pact communications gear, as well as most export devices. Specialized education, signal control, covert electronics, Project Gamma. Qualified expert, M16, M1911A1, MAC-10 Ingram. Classified, speaks 7 languages. He's efficient and self-assured, and has an uncanny ability to turn adverse situations into his favor. There were some communications toys in the 80s released for G.I. Joe that were kind of like Breaker stuff. And here's one of them here, the Mobile Field Unit from 1984. And he was even on the packaging for these 1982 walkie-talkies. And a later 1984 version, shown here, But yeah, he was on that packaging, and I remember that back then in the store. And when I was looking at that mobile field unit that I got a couple months ago, I also saw these, and I thought I'd pick them up because they're neat kind of little electronic things. And these are the headsets from 1982, and they're not working. I tested them, but a lot of times these don't work. But as you can see here, they have a mic when you put the headset on, and yeah, you can talk to your friend back and forth. And I really like the condition of these, aside from them not working. Just the paint, I mean. The red, white, and blue. And the G.I. Joes look pretty good on the side, the logos. And yeah, just pretty cool to have down here. And these here, of course, so many kids had these, if not G.I. Joe ones in the 80s, then some kind of walkie-talkies. But yeah, I specifically remember the 82 one. This is it here. And I'll never forget talking to my friends with this.
Thanks for watching.
Yo, Joe.